All right, we're rolling.
Okay.
And
So today,
from the Fernando and Freddy show.
Why isn't my name first?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Reddit on Reddit. I'm Fernando.
I'm ready.
All right. So, Freddy, what you got for us today?
Okay, today I've got an AITA.
Oh, am I
Okay,
the A? Oh,
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Am I the ATA for insisting that our kids eat food from my culture time to time? My wife hates the smell and complains it stains the dishes. Okay, I'm Indian to be precise. Like all Indians, my regional food is a point of pride for me, and although I'm second generation American, I still love my homeland foods. My wife is American, and our kids obviously half white, half Indian. I've never taken an active interest in cooking Asian food before, but all of a sudden I have time on my hands, and I miss my parents, so decided to reconnect with the culture and to start cooking for myself. Anyhow, I always clean up, etc., and use the regular old dishes and pots and pans, but my wife absolutely hates the smell of Indian food and says that not only does it stink, but that my food is staining the dishes because it uses a lot of turmeric and haldi. She says our kids find that food too spicy, they're 7 and 8, and that it's upsetting their stomachs. If I give them that food, I have zero complaints from the kids, although they do find it a bit spicy, but as kids, I ate it and it's fine. They eat this they eat their food with a glass of milk and lots of roti. Roti's the bread. And it turns out okay. Anyways, she has asked me to stop cooking and says it's not fair considering the dishes are staining and that she thinks it's gross. I say, no problem. We can just buy new dishes. She says, well, it stinks. I say, well, it doesn't smell any more than any other food. And we have a range hood that sucks up a lot of the smells. She also says that she has to scrub all the dishes to get the stains out. I personally don't see any yellow stains, otherwise I would do it, but she apparently does. Anyways, I told her it's important to me and my culture, and I want the kids to experience it too. She rolls her eyes at me and says it's just a phase and needs to be mindful because we're all at home together. She's usually incredibly respectful of our culture and ethnic differences, so I don't know if I'm being the a-hole here or not.
Wow. Okay, so I totally understand where the wife is coming from. Okay,
I figured you
because
would.
the Indian food does smell like it has a very, very strong smell, and the reason because of that, or the reason for that, is because they use so many spices. Um,
Mm.
but at the same time, like culturally, like he's Indian, like she needs to understand that, like open the windows, open the door, maybe get an like an odor absorber, turn that hood fan on. Yeah, Indian food does smell, but at the same time, like she needs to understand that this is part of his culture. This is the person that she married. Like she has to deal with it. Also, I can also understand how maybe the dishes are staining, but I mean, if they have a decent quality dish, it shouldn't be staining. Some of the things that they do, cook with their spices, they are yellow, like something that you might find like a curry or something like that, right? It's like going to
Turmeric.
be not like a right, but I mean, it's going to be like the same things just you'll use like to make like a curry, right? It's not going to be like a bright mustard yellow, but I mean, it's going to be like a dark yellow. If it's that big of a deal, use a disposable plate. They're cheap. You can get them at the grocery store. You can get a decent quality one. And if it's that big of a deal that she doesn't want to eat off of like a paper plate, you can actually buy a hard plastic disposable plate for what 50 cents, 25 cents at the most. And if you buy a bunch of them, get a better deal. Improvise, make it work. What do you think?
Well, I don't see any problem here. I mean, she's so lucky that she's got Indian food at home and that bread is just like so amazing. Like that bread alone is just like wow. I mean, I can understand I've eaten depending on what kind of because India is so large and all the food is so different. But when I've lived in like places where they had strong Indian communities, Like the food can be so good, but there has been a time where even for me, and I like my chilies. I really do. I grow them because I can't find them here. I love a really strong spicy chili, but I don't want it to like so hot that it just brutally burns your mouth, your face, your eyes, everything that touches, you know, um, where you pretty much have to wear gloves. And so I can understand that part where she said that it might be spicy for the kids. But I mean, I remember as a kid, my dad did the same thing. He gave me chilies as a kid. I think depending on how you grew up culturally, uh I love chilies. I mean, I don't like them to be so hot that it burns my whole mouth and it goes numb, but I do like it spicy. Like, but I mean, I think my spice. I've learned my spice tolerance is much higher than most people's because like I can eat
Mhm.
a whole can of like chilies like nothing, like just snacking on them. Like when I want more
Just
jalapenos,
snacking.
yeah, like jalapenos, like pickled jalapenos I can devour like a can by myself in one meal.
But now
Um,
that's the thing though, like, you and I are different on that. I don't like spicy food, and it's not that I mean, I don't enjoy it, putting it in my mouth, like, having that burn, I can't taste the food, it's uncomfortable, and it's just
yeah.
I just don't
So
like it.
but I can understand her point on that point, but the fact that she said it stinks, I think that's a bit culturally insensitive.
Yeah. But
And
you know
and he
what?
said she's pretty good about it, so the way he worded it made it seem like it wasn't always good, but go ahead.
But the thing is too, like, alright, I have 2 points. So the first point being, it's cultural for him, so, I mean, he wants to cook the food, let his kids try it, right? So, well,
Yeah.
maybe don't cook it as spicy. I mean, I'm sure you can always change the
Yeah.
spiciness, so don't make it
But
as
that's
spicy.
but it's a bit hard though because if you're so used to a dish tasting the same, like there's a thing that I hate um is traveling around, and I've learned if you're American, don't eat American food outside of the US because you will always be disappointed. Always, 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 always. Because they make it to their local palate. Like, can you imagine, like, brioches?
Uh, wait, I'm thinking bread, but no,
Yeah,
maybe I don't.
yeah, yeah. No, it is. It is. It's that sweet bread, like almost like
Oh,
that
okay, yeah,
Hawaiian
yeah.
bread.
Okay.
They use hot dogs and they use that bread for hot dogs here. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's how Americans do it." And I'm like, "No, it's not. That's disgusting." And they're like, "Yeah, it is. That's exactly like everywhere you go when they say American style, it's like this." I'm like, "Well, that's not American. I'm sorry. We don't eat sweet hot dog bread like with hot dogs. Like it's the most disgusting thing ever because here the way they serve their hot dogs, which are already gross anyways, um, they serve them inside of baguettes. They literally make a
Okay.
hole inside of a baguette and then they stuff the hot dog into it and they eat like hard bread, like like you're like chewing for hours,
Oh my
hurting your jaw.
gosh.
Like, yeah,
No, hot dog bread is soft. It's a
yeah.
soft bread, easy to chew.
Yeah, the same. Let me tell you, the hamburger buns are just as hard. And you would think that they would be able to
That's
make these
weird.
breads since they're such big bakers and things, but they've never I've never ever gotten it right in this country.
Hmm.
But going back to this, um, I don't know. I think she should understand that she married someone from a different culture, different ethnic background. So she should want her kids to enjoy what their father grew up with, that half their family, their cousins, aunts and uncles are going to be serving this kind of food, are going to be doing these things. Like there's some amazing Indian festivals I've gone to. Like the one where they throw all the powder. I can't remember the name right now. Like all the colored powders. It's so cool. And like
Hmm.
just all these cool cultural events that I've been to that are strong in Indian culture. Um,
But Freddie, could you imagine, like, if he's still his family in India, and maybe in a few years the kids are, middle school or high school aged, whatever, and they go visit the family in India, and the kids are like, "No, no, no, thank you. We don't want to eat this food. Like, where's McDonald's?" Like, how embarrassing would that be?
so basically, like if they took you to India.
I, actually, okay. So I do like Indian food. I will
Oh, you
say that.
do?
So I
Oh, because
do,
there's
yeah.
chicken. Because there's chicken.
Yeah, I actually found my friend took me to this Indian restaurant, and it was all you can eat. It was like not buffet
Ooh.
style, but they actually come around to your table and they carry these little things and they like put it. It's a cafeteria kind of plate with like little dividers on it and stuff. And
Mhm.
they would just come over with the scoopers and just put it on your plate, and they would just come around with the different breads. It was actually really good. Here's the kicker: it was vegan.
What's wrong with that?
And no, it was just different, and it was so good. I would totally go back there. I ate so much. I had a stomach ache because I ate so much, and I had to like lay down for a couple of hours
Ooh,
after.
I want to
So,
go
but let me go
here.
back one thing. Yeah, come visit. I'll take you. Here's the next part too. Um, Going back to food smells. I don't like seafood. I don't like fish. And if you're in my kitchen, you're not gonna cook fish. I'm sorry. Like, it's just gonna be gross to me. The smell is just gonna make me not appetized. I'm not gonna want to eat my dinner. It's just, and it does. It keeps the smell in the environment for a little while. But what they could try would be a charcoal filter. So have you ever seen a like an oil splash guard you can put on top of a frying pan and it looks kind of like a
Yeah,
lid, but it has a whole bunch of little, well, they make those, but they're meshy kind of. And in the
yeah.
middle, there's a charcoal filter, and it's designed for cooking things that emit a strong odor, like fish. So you could
I
cover the
have one.
pan, the charcoal filter.
Yeah, but it doesn't work
So
as well as
that's,
you think because
well, you got to
when
get
you
a
lift.
new one. They only last for so long.
Well, but the thing is when because like you're gonna taste the food, you're gonna turn the food. So when you lift it up, that smell's going out at that
Oh,
time. So that's why I'm
yeah.
saying like it's not going to. And but I've seen these new ones, and I think when I finally do the remodel in my kitchen, I'm gonna get the exhaust fan that's in next to the in between the counter. You know what I mean? Like it sucks the exhaust downwards instead of letting it go up into the hood.
Oh,
So
well,
like the
so
ones they have in restaurants. So that's how they do it in restaurants where they are able
downward.
to barbecue. Yeah, it literally has a fan in it and it sucks everything out. So you don't have like there's some restaurants where they literally barbecue in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And so they have these special fans that really suck all the air out. And when I was looking at opening a restaurant, I found that they're quite pricey, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there are a few different types, and I've seen some hoods that even have built-in filters. So, I mean, if this is something that he really wanted to do, he needs to have a conversation with his wife and say, "Hey, you know what? This is what I really want to do. I want the kids to be, culturally diverse. I want the kids to
Yeah.
have a taste of, their heritage. I want them to actually enjoy this food. If it's too spicy, maybe I can adjust it, make it not so spicy. The kids have never complained to me about it. Um, and what are we
Yeah,
gonna do
I
about
but
this smell? Let's figure this smell out."
I think it's too that's something they should do. And if it really is spicy and it's really just spicy for her, maybe he could make her a portion without the spice or just put the spice on the side and mix it in after he served her portion, because
Or
that's often what I do.
why not just make two separate meals? I know it sounds like she's just being a little princess, but you know what? Just get a Instapot. You can cook a piece of chicken in 7 minutes. Set it and forget it, pretty much, and it's gonna
Stop
be
it.
tasty. And
Wait,
how
that said it,
easy would
forget
that
it.
be? That's, I think,
Wait,
Crock-Pot. I think that's their
no,
that's
no, that's
their
the old
actual.
one. That's the old infomercial where he says, "Set it and forget it." Is that what's his name? Is it Ron? Is it Ron Popeil?
I have no idea.
I think it is. I think it's Ron Popeil who made that "Set it and forget it."
Freddie. I don't know.
Okay, well, let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree, disagree? What do you think about having people cook their ethnically traditional foods in home that may be pungently nice smelling to some people and disgusting to others?
Yeah, let
Let
us
us
know down in the
know.
comments. Hey, if you guys like this episode, we would love it if you just give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, that's totally fine. Just leave us a thumbs down. Let us know what you think. We would really appreciate it. And we would love it if you would just put a comment down there in the bottom section. And we are trying to get to, where is it? My hands aren't working. There we go. We are trying to get to 65 subscribers, you guys. So, are we doing a high five?
High five.
So we would love it if you guys would subscribe to our channel. You just go and click that little red subscribe button. Super, super easy to do. Yeah, and thanks for joining us, you guys. This has been another episode of Reddit on
Reddit on
Reddit.
Reddit.
From the Fernando and Freddy Show. Why isn't my name first?